Welcome to Praying the Lectionary, a guided meditation following the Sunday Revised Common Lectionary readings and special days and seasons in the Church. It is a time to sit and listen. I invite you to sit, to breathe, to be, to listen and to discover something new about yourself, about God, about your neighbor, and the world around you. The text today comes from 2 Samuel, chapter 18, verses 5 through 9, 15, and verses 31 to 33, entitled, "The Grief of a Father Overshadows the Victory of a King." As you prepare for this time in prayer and meditation this day, I invite you to the breath and notice how your body desires to be connected to the breath of God and the world around you. Sit by a window or sit outside if you are able, noticing how you are connected to nature, noticing where you see God. Listen for God's word for you today. The king ordered Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, "Deal gently for my sake with the young man Absalom." And all the people heard when the king gave orders to all the commanders concerning Absalom. So the army went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was fought in the forest of Ephraim. The men of Israel were defeated there by the servants of David, and the slaughter there was great on that day, 20,000 men. The battle spread over the face of all the country, and the forest claimed more victims that day than the sword. Absalom happened to meet the servants of David. Absalom was riding on his mule, and the mule went under the thick branches of a great oak. His head caught fast in the oak, and he was left hanging between heaven and earth, while the mule that was under him went on. And 10 young men, Joab's armor bearers, surrounded Absalom and struck him and killed him. Then the Cushite came, and the Cushite said, "Good tidings for my lord the king, for the Lord has vindicated you this day, delivering you from the power of all who rose up against you." The king said to the Cushite, "It is well with the young man Absalom?" The Cushite answered, "May the enemies of my lord the king, and all who rise up to do you harm, be like that young man." The king was deeply moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went, he said, "O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would I had died instead of you, O Absalom, my son, my son." As you continue to focus on the breath today, I invite you to notice the places of grief and victory that live in your body. And notice which one needs to come to the surface first, grief or victory. Notice any tension that arises and embrace it gently. Invite curiosity to this space. Where does the tension come from? Is this your tension? Or are you carrying tension for someone else? Is the tension giving you life or sucking the life out of you? Where is God in the tension? If you are not sure, move toward that which is life-giving for you today. Take a few more deep breaths, giving thanks for the invitation to be with this tension around grief or victory. And let your focus shift to the other, grief or victory. And notice any tension that arises, gently embracing it and inviting a stance of curiosity. Where does the tension come from? Is this your tension? Or are you carrying tension for someone else? Is the tension giving you life or sucking the life out of you? Where is God in the tension? If you're not sure, move toward that which is life-giving for you today. And take a few more deep breaths, giving thanks for this moment, to be present to grief and victory today. Notice how your grief overshadows victory. And with gentleness, I wonder, what is God's invitation for you today? Begin to gather in what you have received. Inviting a word or phrase. Noticing a felt sense. Perhaps embracing an image that has come to you during this time. I invite you to journal, write about it, let the words spill on the page, and invite God to deepen the meaning of these things that have emerged for you today. Resist the temptation to make your own conclusions. Invite God to show you. And as you go out into the world, continue to notice grief and victory and how they are connected or disconnected, and what God's invitation for you might be. For the glory of God, for the people of God, thanks be to God. Praying the lectionary is a guided meditation offered by the Reverend Dr. Lil Smith. The text today comes from the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible. The piano accompaniment is Dana Cunningham.